Okay, so we will proceed now on the comparative models in policing. So dalawang subject na lang, ay hindi, tatlo pa actually, ang hindi natin discuss. We have comparative, we have the crime mapping, and of course, we have the layer 1 or yung interagency approach natin. Okay, so pag sinabi ng comparative models in policing, so we will focus on the TOS or Table of Specifications. Kung napapansin niyo, unlike before, ang pinag-aaralan natin sa comparative models in policing is yung policing ng iba't ibang country, di ba? Ano ba? Sa Japan, China, sa Korea, sa UK, US, and so on. But kung tinignan niyo sa bagong TOS, kung yun pa rin ang pinag-aaralan niyo, syempre, misleading na yon or ibig sabihin hindi siya updated. Kasi under the new table of specifications, under the comparative models and policing, ito na ngayon ang content ng subject na to. Course 2.1 nakalagay dyan. Again, 2.1, we will discuss the theories of policing. Then we have the Philippine policing and of course the transnational crime. Then 2.2, so we will implement the process of a CN corporation. Then of course we will discuss the Interpol, the extradition treaty, and international agreements on law enforcement cooperation. Then 2.3, so we will apply the 4 policy models in law enforcement. Mamaya, makikita niyo yan. Then 2.4, evaluate the importance of policing in social life, its goals and roles in the police and affairs of the state or the government, or yung tinatawag natin na multicultural policing. So kapag dapat class, make sure na nandun kayo sa dalawang GCs natin sa Telegram kasi pwede nyo mabalikan yung August 2024 na discussions ko kasi same TOS lang naman. Then sa ngayon na for February 2025, pero there are changes. Of course, merong mga major changes na or hindi naman siya masyadong major pala or mga konting changes lang siya na kung titingnan niyo kapag i-compare niyo hindi siya magkatulad talaga. So may mga na-insert, may mga nabago, may mga nadagdag, or mas may simplified. So dapat panoorin niyo yung dalawa. Or kapag nandito na kayo, mas maganda yung nasusundan niyo dito. Pero kapag gusto niyo mag-advance, then madagdagan, so kailangan pa rin panoorin yung ating recorded lectures sa Telegram, yung sa February 2025. Okay, so yan ang comparative models in policing. So dito tayo magsa-start. What is globalization? Okay, so dito sa sa next slide. Okay, so bakit pa lang ang next slide? Okay, globalization. So pag sinabi natin globalization, what is that? Okay, so pakibasa nga nandiyan na ba si JM? JM. So okay, pakibasa muna what is globalization.
Globalization, a process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations. A process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology.
Okay, so pag sinabi ng globalization, again, that is the process of interaction and integration among the people, the companies, and of course the governments of different nations. And it is a process driven by international trade, of course, yung palitan class ng ating ng mga products, di ba? And investment and aided by information technology, di ba? Sa some of the countries in the world, so nag-invest in a class or nagkakaroon ng trading or palitan ng mga yung mga kagamitan and of course mga pagkain, di ba? Yung tawag dito halimbawa, yung mga pineapple or the bananas, di ba? So mas mahal yan compared sa ibang bansa. So kinukuha pa yan dito sa Pilipinas. Not just in the Philippines, so marami pang bansa nagkaroon ng trading. So that's why we have the globalization. Then some companies in the US or in other countries, so they invest last dito sa Pilipinas, same as to or vice versa sa Pilipinas. Yung mga company dito, so nag-i-invest sila ng business rin nila doon sa ibang bansa. So that is globalization, interaction and integration among the people, the companies, and the governments of different nature. nations rather. Then of course, nagkakaroon ng international trade and international investment, and of course, that is aided by information technology. Lalo-lalo na sa when it comes to information class, may mga bansa na mas advanced sila, di ba, as compared sa ibang bansa. So, through globalization, to trading, investment, so na-update ngayon, di ba? Halimbawa, tayo sa Pilipinas, so 10 years delayed tayo or 10 years behind tayo sa ibang bansa as compared to technologies. Nung nag-present kami nung specialization kami sa Baguio City, kasi yung dalawang Korean, nakita niyo naman siguro yun sa ano ko, sa My Day, yung speaker namin na dalawang Korean, siya yung may-ari ng company kung saan class. Through phone na lang ngayon, saan yung phone ko? Through phone na lang siya ngayon class, tapos ang firearm automatic, i-click-click mo lang sa phone mo, automatic siya na agad-agad yung pumutok. So hindi mo na kailangan ikasapa o iputok sa kamay mo yung barrel. So automatic class ang ano sa kanya, ang mag-cooperate is yung cellphone. Parang ano mo lang siya. Parang once na gusto mo pumutok siya, i-on mo lang, i-click-click mo lang sa phone mo. Nakakontrol na siya sa phone. So ganun ang bago ngayon. So kaya sinasabi natin, through globalization, so malalaman mo yung bansa ngayon is kung yung country kung saan ka naroon is baka behind ka na or 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So that is globalization. Okay, so that is the interaction and integration of the company. Okay, so yes, third world to the as well. Sa third world countries tayo, so kaya medyo ano no, medyo behind talaga class. So grabe no, so ganun, automatic na siya na makikita mo agad-agad na gusto mong patayin. Hindi ka na kailangan pumunta pa sa ano, sa scene of the crime or kung saan siya naroroon. So automatic i-position mo lang yung barrel, tapos ang control na siya ng phone to class, automatic siya na yung papatay or siya na yung pumutok doon sa baril na yon. So ganoon ang globalization. Malalaman mo ay behind na pala talaga tayo, di ba? So aside sa yung DNA, di ba? Ngayon ang natin discover sa kanila, malalaman mo class through DNA, mag-visualize mo na agad ang or mapipicture out daw class ang tinatawag natin na mukha ng tao na yon. Okay, through sperm, malalaman na daw kung sino ang may-ari ng sperm na yon. So grabe no sa ibang bansa. So yun yung mga ano class through globalization. So makikita natin na behind talaga ang Pilipinas when it comes sa investment or sa trading, sa technology as well. Yung technology class, hindi na tayo. So masyado na tayong behind. Kumbaga 10 years ago or 10 years behind na tayo compared sa ibang bansa. Pero hindi lang naman tayo. Mas marami pa, di ba? So yan ang purpose ng globalization. That's why inaaral natin ang subject na to, yung comparative models in policing. Kasi ang ano naman, ang crime naman is hindi lang nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? So ang crime is a global phenomena. So meaning hindi lang nangyayari sa Pilipinas. So lahat-lahat kahit saan pumunta merong crime. Pero of course, on some other countries, less lang ang krimen nila kasi they have the technology, di ba? Technology, malalaman na agad kung nag-overspeeding ka, 'di ba? Titingnan niyo sa Pilipinas, may traffic lights tayo pero minsan pag 100 tapos pag 1 babalik sa number 100 ulit. So, hindi ka makakalis. So parang niloloko tayo, no? Okay, so 'yun ang kaibahan siguro. So nakita niyo yan sila yung pumunta sa Coronadal City. Kasi yung mga traffic light nila yung ano minsan yan mga ano parang sira, hindi ko alam. Mag 100 tapos mag 1 tapos mamaya balik na naman ng 100. So hindi ka hindi ka makaalis na pupuntahan mo kasi ano 200, 300 yung bibilangin mo plan. Kaya behind talaga. Ano, so yun no. So hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari doon. Kung niloloko ba tayo o hindi. So hindi lang yan nangyayari sa isang lugar sa Pilipinas. So marami pa. So kailangan talaga ano yon mas stronger ang pag ano class ng mga batas natin. So hindi lang sa ano, so that is the purpose ng tinatawag natin na globalization. Kasi ang crime is not only happen or nag-occur sa Pilipinas, any parts of the world naman. So that is globalization. Okay, nakuha ba? Naintindihan? So again, ang globalization, that is interaction, integration of the people, companies, the government of different nation class. So of course, papasok sa trading, investment, through that or through the aid of information technology. So that is globalization. Okay, so kailangan mo mag-adapt class or kailangan mo ngayon tawag natin, no? Mag-adjust. O kailangan mo ano yon, kumbaga, go with the flow, syempre, kung ano yung bago. So, para mas hindi ka mahuli sa latest. Okay, so, ayan. Who are you again? Sabi ni Jimwell Bernesa. Okay. Bakit who are you again? Ano sabi niya? Okay, so again, pag sinabi natin what is policy, okay, sige, sino nga pwede? Si, ano na lang, si Eric, kasi siya yung first, yung early bird dito kanina eh. Sige, Eric, can you read what is policy? Nandiyan ba si Eric? Wala? Okay, sige, baka nahiya na naman si Eric. Si ano na lang, si Jimwell, Bernesa.
Sir, good evening. Good evening po. Hindi po dili saba, sir.
Hindi naman. Clear.
Okay, sige po. What is policy? The activities carried out by police officers in order to preserve law and order, the policing of cases, the actions of a person or group in authority in order to ensure fairness and legality in an area of public life.
Okay, so thank you. So that is policing, nag-trade na po daw si Eric. So again, pag sinabi natin policing, so it talks about the activities carried out by the police officers or law enforcement officers that is in order to preserve the law and order of the policing of the public places. Then these are the actions of a person or group in authority in order to ensure fairness and legality in area of public life. So that is what they call the policing. Again, ang policing, those are the activities carried out by the police officer in order to, of course, for the maintenance of peace and order in the locality. So what is policing? Again, the actions of a person or group of persons who are in authority class for to ensure the fairness and legality in the area or public. Okay, so that is policing. Okay, so next. We have the what we call the theories of comparative policing. Of course, we have different various theories that exist with empirical support are the following theories of comparative criminology. Number one, so we have alertness to crime theory. So again, number one, pag sinabi natin alertness to crime theory, it is that as a nation develops, the people's alertness to crime is heightened so that they report more crime to police and also demand the police become more effective at solving crime problems. Alertness, ibig sabihin, people in the community are become alert to crime or whenever may yung nangyayaring krimen sa community class. So that mas marami ngayon or mas marami yung tendency or possibility class or maraming numbers ang report ngayon sa police. Okay, so ibig sabihin, it will demand the police become more effective at solving crimes kasi again, there is a collaboration or meron na siyang meron ng tulong na nanggaling sa community. So that is alertness to crime theory. Then pangalawa, so we have the economic or migration theory. So pag sinabi natin migration theory, di ba, that is palipat-lipat or lilipat ka sa ibang lugar or change of location or place. So pag economic or migration theory, it is suggest or argue that the crime everywhere is the result or unrestrained migration and overpopulation in urban areas such as cheetahs and slums. So yung mga natin, di ba, yung mga populated or yung mga squatters area. So economic or migration theory, di ba? So meron tayong tinatawag dyan na before, yung because of migration, because of overpopulation in urban areas. So nagkakaroon ng tinatawag natin na krimen na nangyayari, di ba? So migration, kasi palipat-lipat or lilipat sila sa ibang lugar, there is a higher possibility na they are involved
sila.
crime. That is economic or migration theories.
Yung mga side, mga tato Mag-atom sa lamde dre.
Si Wow, paki-off ng microphone. Okay, thank you.
Panon eh.
That is economic. Sino ba yun? Si Taren. Wow. Can you, paki-off muna ng microphone. So that is economic or migration theory. Then number 3, so we have the opportunity theory. So in the opportunity theory, so it is along with higher standards of living. So victims become more careless of their belongings and opportunities for committing crime multiply. So di ba, kapag there is an opportunity, so kasi di ba sa triangle of crime, so we have the motive, opportunity, and instrumentality. And yung the most important doon sa triangle of crime class is the opportunity. When the opportunity is present, halimbawa, when the victims is careless about their belongings, of course, there is a higher or there are opportunities will come in for committing a crime. Siyempre, maraming no? Kasi nga there's an opportunities present. So that is opportunity theory under the comparative policing. Again, we have alertness to crime theory. So again, people's alertness to crime is heightened so that they report more crime to police. And also it will demand on the part of the police to become effective at solving crime problems. Then economic or migration. So crime is a result of unrestrained migration and overpopulation in urban areas such as cities and slums. Then opportunity theory, because of the higher standards of living, so victims become more careless for their belongings, kung ano yung mga pagmamayari nila. Then papasok na yun si opportunities. Then of course, that's the time na magpumultiply or mas maraming mangyayari. So yan, alertness, economic, and opportunity theory. Then number 4, so we have the demographic theory. So in the demographic theory, that is based on the event of when a greater number of children, halagay, when a greater number of children are being born because as this baby booms grow up, delinquent subcultures develop out of the adolescent identity crisis. Ano ibig sabihin nito, class? Sabi niya, baby booms. Ano ba yung baby booms? Ano ba yung baby booms? Hindi ba yung mga boomers? Okay. Okay. So ang mga baby booms natin, class. Okay, search sa pop. Okay, so pag sinabi nating baby boomers or yung baby booms, that is a period marked by a significant increase of births after the World War, generally from 1946 to 1964. So yun yung form, yung boom era na tinatawag natin, class. Kumbaga nagkaroon ng class, massive increase of birth. Diba? So yan yung tinatawag natin na baby booms. Tama ba ako? Tama ba? Baka nagkamali ako. Okay, so tama? Okay, ibig sabihin there is a rapid increase of birth. So nangyari yan after the war, syempre. Kumbaga baka siguro sobrang sabik na sabik. Kaya nagkaroon ng baby booms grow up. Ibig sabihin that is the significant period kung saan mas dumami ang population or mas maraming pinanganak na baby. So that is the sa baby booms. Okay, iba naman kasi yung boomers na tinatawag. So again, that is based on the event when a greater number of children are being born because as baby booms grow up, delinquent subcultures develop out of the adolescent identity crisis. Yes, yes, Ian. Siguro yun yung nangyari kasi based on research na nakalagay dito, nangyari yan class after the the generation born after the Second World War, generally from 1946 to 1964. Or yung tinatawag natin na strong post-war economy. Ibig sabihin, after natapos yung World War II. Okay, so ibig sabihin, sa time na yan, class, Americans felt confident that they would be able to support a larger number of children. Kasi again, wala nang nangyaring wala nang giyera. So they are confident kahit mga anak sila or sabay-sabay sila mabuntis or makabuntis. So the country or the America can support every child. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng baby booms after the World War II. So that is from 1946 to 1964. O di ba? Ang ganda pala ng demographic theory. Okay, so yan ang ano natin. So ganun ang ano na siya, medyo na gano'n na, kumbaga celebration siguro ang nangyari dito during that time. Okay, so yan. So because of the baby booms grow up class or sabay-sabay or there is a rapid increase sa birth during that time. So there is nagki-create talaga ng delinquency on the part of those child. Then magkakaroon ng adolescent identity crisis. So that is demographic theory class. Di ba? Pag sinabi ting demographic, it talks about the people, di ba? It talks about the population. So that is that demographic theory. Okay na ba? So that is based on the event, yung baby booms. Then we have deprivation theory. So deprivation theory, it holds that the progress comes along with the rising expectations. And people at the bottom develop unrealistic expectation while people at the top don't see themselves rising fast enough. Diba? So yan yung deprivation theory. So feeling na mga nasa bottom, of course yung mga may hirap, wala silang progress. Tapos yung mga mayayaman, syempre, they don't see themselves as hindi na maabot. Kasi sa Pilipinas class, kung alam ninyo, kung you're studying economy, 'di ba? Kung sa Pilipinas daw, kapag mayaman ka sa Pilipinas, mayaman ka talaga, 'di ba? As compared sa ibang bansa, kapag mayaman kayo, mayaman ka, mayaman lahat halos, 'di ba? Sa Pilipinas daw, kapag mayaman ka talaga. Sa Pilipinas, kapag mahirap ka talaga. So, dito yon naka-anchor yung deprivation theory. So, meaning people at the top become unrealistic expectation. And of course, yung people at the bottom rather, they develop unrealistic expectation at the people at the top don't see themselves rising fast enough. So, hindi na makahabol ngayon or hindi na siya masabayan ng mga nasa laylayan. That is deprivation theory. Okay, naintindihan niyo ba? Naintindihan what is deprivation theory and demographic theory? Okay, Sian, can you read again what is demographic and deprivation theory?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, number 4, demographic theory is based on the event of when a greater number of children are being born. Because as these baby booms grow up, delinquent subcultures develop out of the adolescent identity crisis. Number 5, deprivation theory holds that progress comes along with the rising expectations and people at the bottom develop unrealistic expectations while people at the top don't see themselves rising fast enough.
Okay, thank you. So that is demographic theory class. Of course, talks about the people or yung mabilis na pag-surge or increase of number of people. Then deprivation theory. So meaning there is unequal opportunities class among the different division of people, diba? So from the top and the bottom, so that is deprivation theory. Okay, next, sa policing to that is related to policing. Then we have also the modernization theory. In the modernization theory, it says the problem of society becoming too complex or because of the modernization na nangyayari class. So hindi na siya or iba-iba na ang nagsinabasan or nagsilabasan class na crimes. So that is modernization theory. Then dapat kapag kasi lalo na 'di ba nung pandemic, so naging pandemic or naging ano na rin, naging techie or ibig sabihin yung magaling sa technology yung mga kriminal. So dapat kailangan sabayan yon ng policing natin. So then, of course, we have the theory of anomy and synony. So, familiar naman kayo sa anomy, no? Pag sinabi kasi natin anomy, that is normlessness or the presence of a norm. So, the latter being a term referring to the social cohesion or values. So, the latter is yung binabagay na class is the synony. Again, that is social cohesion on values. it suggests that progressive lifestyle and norms result in the disintegration of older norms that once held people together o yung tinatawag natin na presence of anomy or presence of the norms. So anomy comes from the Greek word anomos, meaning lowless or lowlessness. Anomy means a lack of moral standards, again, moral standards, or a sense of lawlessness, or sometimes the anxiety that comes from being in a lawless place. Ibig sabihin, there is no legal constraint or walang legal na class na criteria kung yung ginagawa ba nila is tama or mali. So that is the theory of anomy and synonymy. Again, tandaan natin, kung sabi natin synonymy, that is social cohesion on values. Kasi there is nagpa-progress naman yung lifestyle ng mga ng people in the community, di ba? So it will create or nagkakaroon ng disintegration of older norms that once held people together. Dati, yun ang nasunod or yun ang mga tawag dito, yun ang pinapaniwalaan sa community. So may nagkaroon ng progress sa lifestyle, syempre hindi na yun napapalitan na siya ng bago. Kasi again, anomy, lowless or lowlessness. So that is the anxiety that comes up from being in the lowless place. Di ba? Siyempre, wala kang habol kapag may nangyari sa'yo. So yun yung point doon ng theory of anomy and synonymy. Okay? So again, so modernization theory and theory of anomy and synonymy. Okay, can you read nandiyan kasi Teresa? Teresa
Good evening,
from
sir.
Easy Chensa.
Modern-
Sige, number 6.
Modernization theory sees the problem as a society becoming too complex. Theory of anomy and synonymy, the latter being a term referring to social cohesion on values, suggests that progressive lifestyle and norms result in the disintegration of older norms that once held people together, or the anomy. Anomy comes from the Greek word anomos, meaning lawless. Anomy means a lack of moral standards, or a sense of lawlessness, or sometimes the anxiety that comes from being in lawless place.
So that is theory of anomy and synonymy. So again, pag sabi natin anomy class, sabihin you are lack of moral standards. So kumbaga walang kasi 'di ba, pag sinabi kasi nating morality, wala namang batas na nagsasabi na mali yung ginagawa mo. Ang magsasabi na mali yan, yung community mo, 'di ba? Ano, yung mabubuntis ka na hindi ka pa nagka-graduate or pumasok sa boarding exam, hindi naman yan mali. Ang nagsasabi niyan na immoral yan is yung community mo or society. So in anatomy, so may sinasabi niya that moral standard or lack of moral standards in the community or sense of lawlessness. Wala ngayong batas or wala ngayong standard na sinusunod. Okay. So binuli ka ni ni Eric, oh. Okay. So pero siya nahihiya siya kapag binabasa natin si Eric, oh. Mamaya babasahin natin 'yan. Okay. So 'yan. Sige. Okay. Ay, college ko daw kasi bully si Eric eh. So that is the theory of anomy and synonymy. Okay, next. Dito tayo. Okay, wait lang class ha. Sige, basahin niyo muna. Ay, basahin ko muna then sagutan niyo sa comment section. Iilang ko madali na, mga seconds. So, Police Colonel Paches, ako na lang yung in-example ko, no? Pinalitan ko na lang yung pangalan class mismo sa board exam. Kasi this is actual board exam question. So, visited Japan to collaborate with his counterparts on some research to be used in the PNP. So, which comparative method of policing studies did he apply? A, safari, collaborative, qualitative, and quantitative. So, sagot. Okay, so ayan. So majority naman, letter A, alpha. Okay, so of course, ang sagot natin dyan, that is safari method. Okay, so that is safari method. So that is letter, okay, that is letter A. So kapag sumagot kayo ng qualitative at quantitative na sagot dito, so wag na kayong mag-review, matulog na lang kayo. So hindi yan yung sagot ha. Okay, so delikado kapag ganun ang sagot ninyo sa board exam. So kapag wala namang sumagot ng qualitative at quantitative, wala naman. Okay, so kakabahan ka na kung sumagot ka ng qualitative at quantitative. Delikado yan. So dalawa lang ang titingnan ko yung class kasi gusto daw muna malian. Delikado. Okay, kasi dalawa na naman ang comparative methods in policing natin. So we have the safari and of course collaborative method. So meron dito na kumbaga merong na nagkamali dito minsan kapag sa face-to-face kasi nakita nila yung term na collaborate. Okay, so kaya naging collaborative method daw ang sagot nila. So wag kang mag-focus doon, class. Ang sinabi niya, visited Japan. Okay, kapag when you visit another country to study the police system na meron sila doon at police system na meron tayo dito or i-compare and contrast niya kaya nagkaroon tayo ng comparative police system, there is safari methods. Ibig sabihin, kailangan niya talaga ma-observe doon uh, uh, physically kung ano yung nangyayari doon, ano yung standards. So that is safari method. While ang collaborative method, the police researcher doesn't need to go to another country to study the similarities and differences of the police force they have there. And of course, the police system na meron sa Pilipinas. So ang kailangan niya lang is to communicate with the same foreign police researcher. So ang collaborative class, ibig sabihin, hindi niya na kailangan pumunta sa ibang bansa to study or to determine the similarities and differences of the police force nila doon sa police force na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Ang kailangan niya lang is makipag-communicate sa same niya rin na foreign police researcher. Pwedeng kung online, di ba? Mag-Gmail siya muna, tapos mag-uusap sila through Zoom, magkakaroon ng interview and so on. So that is, papasok yan sa collaborative method. So ayan, safari and collaborative method, hindi yan mawawala sa board exam. But when you know the basics, walang problema. So ito yung actual question na nilabas nila class ng board exam. Kaya halos lahat ng actual question na kukuha ko rin. So, kaya hindi ako gumagawa ng sarili kong tanong sa PRC mismo, mostly, kinukuha yung mga actual board exam questions na yan. Para makita ninyo kung ano yung proper, kasi may structure ka sa paggawa ng question eh. Kaya kung nakikita ninyo sa mga Facebook, sa TikTok, hindi na ako nagrarasyo ng mga hindi sa akin galing na tanong. Kasi kung napapansin ninyo, ang mga question nila na ginagawa doon is yung mga dating pa, yung mga old format na tanong. Iba na po ang tanungan sa ngayon, class. Meron ng scenario, tapos meron na agad facts, then merong question. So unlike before, automatic, di ba? Direct question and so on. So kaya ngayon, class, gusto ko makita ninyo, makita ng mga examinees, kahit sa previous center na sila nabilong na nagbago na ang landscape ng board exam. Okay, so yan. Okay, so magbuhat ng question. Hindi. Kasi nung last, yung sa may Cagayan de Oro class, kami ang nag-present ni Dr. Tamayo, may team sa paano gumawa ng question sa CDI, paano mag-craft ng question sa CDI. Di ba i-posted yan sa Facebook last time? Sa CDI. So ako yung nagpe-present, si ma'am yung nag-next, di ba? Tawagan si Attorney Gabaw eh. Sabi niya yung mag-ina. Kasi yung si ma'am yung nag-next, ako yung nag-present kasi kami yung gumawa nun. So, kinisa tayo na Attorney Gabaw doon. So, natawid naman kasi maganda naman kapag alam mo na yung Bloom's taxonomy or paano gumawa talaga ng tanong. So, ganun pala ang standard doon. Kasi isa-challenge ka doon ni Attorney Gabaw. Okay, can you make it, can you make it in a question form? Can you make it in a statement form? Or pwede mo bang gawin yan sa remembering, creating, we have applying, analyzing, and so on. So, ganun lang. So, madali lang siya kasi so, for how many years, na make sure ko nung nag-start ako na na-master ko na yung mga ganun. Para ano na class. Kumbaga, hindi ibig sabihin na bago ka pa lang, so different na. So dapat aralin mo lahat. So ready ka na kapag ganun. So again, that is safari and collaborative method. Nakuha ba? Nakuha niya? Okay, ano lang, huwag tayong maging examiner kasi konti yung pera doon. Okay, joke lang. Okay, so that is safari and collaborative method. Next. Okay, so we have the different models of policing. Okay, of course, we have number one, classification based on legitimacy or legal backing of police function. Number one class is the policing by consent. Sinusulat niyo ba yung mga discussion po sa Telegram? Dapat isulat niyo kasi nandun lahat yung mga ano natin. Hindi kayo mawawala doon. I-absorb sa utak ninyo or i-laptop ninyo lahat ng mga dinidiscuss natin doon. So policing by consent, number one. So under number one rather, okay, it should be noted that it refers to the power of the police coming from the consent of the public cooperation with the police induce them designedly by behavior which secures and maintains of them the approval, respect, and affection by the public. So that is policing by consent class. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na policing by consent. Okay, hindi ako pwedeng magbigay ng PPT class kasi ano na siya tawag nito, kumakalat na yung PPT ko, hindi wala na akong control. Ano yan? So wag na lang na class, wag na natin, baka ma-remember ko pa. Kasi nga sumasakit yung mata ko sa kaka-research kung ano yung kulang sa discussion ko. Tapos makita ko lang, nandun pala, pinipresent nila yung PPT ko. Ay, delikado. So, kaya, wag na lang class. Pagtsagaan niya na yung recorded lectures. Pero ano pa naman, ano natin. Okay, naintindihan naman di ba ninyo? Intellectual property. Sige lang, gano'n naman talaga. Okay, magsulat na lang. Magsulat na lang kasi mas maganda talaga yung pinaghirapan nyo. Kumbaga. So that is policing by consent again. So ang policing by consent, lagay mo mukha mo para di ko malat. Sige, lalagyan natin ng mukha. Ano na siguro mukha ni nandito ba si Jimwell? Wala si Jimwell, no? Hindi naka-attend. Lalagyan ko na ng mukha ko yung PPT ko pala para hindi na siya mabago. Sige, tama. Para, paano ba yon? Sige. Lalagyan natin kasi na-PC pa klase. Lalagyan natin para hindi na nila maka-water. Ay, hindi. Ay, si Jimwell. Jimwell pala yung isa. Sorry. Jimwell at Jimwell. Okay, so yan. Ulitin natin. So, mamaya na natin pag-usapan yan. Okay, dito tayo class. Again, policing by consent. So, sa policing by consent, tandaan niyo lang class, ang police officer class will act muna before gaining the approval, the respect, and of course, the affection of the public. Ibig sabihin, parang boss nila yung public before sila magpa-function. So that is followed policing by consent. So meaning, tinitake in consideration nila class kung ano yung magiging, kung ano yung hinaing or ano yung side ng ating mga tawag ito, yung public. Okay, so yan. Okay, so yan ang yes, dito na ba babagsak ang community relations ng PNP, sir? Yes, actually, dito na papasok yung public community relations ng PNP rin. But of course, kailangan rin ng common consent. Ang police community relation kasi is that is the relationship building between the police and the community. So, policing by consent, ibig sabihin, so before nila i-maximize or before nila i-utilize yung power nila class. So dapat meron muna sila cooperation with the public or kailangan mo nila makuha yung approval, yung respect, and of course, yung affection ng public. Okay, so yan. That is the policing by consent. Okay, so yung team policing is ibig sabihin, team na tinawag na the community plus community plus police. So kaya nagkaroon din ng team policy. Okay, so ibig sabihin hindi sila magkalaban, no? So they are one team Okay, then of course, policing by law. So ang policing by law naman, of course, pag i-promote nila or i-utilize nila class yung power nila based on the legal restrictions. Kung ano yung batas natin, kung ano yung legal standards, doon sila mag-promote or doon yung susundin nila. So that is policing by consent under classification based on legitimacy or legal backing of police function, policing by consent, and policing by law. Okay? Then, of course, we have the second one. O bakit na, ano to na? Policing. Bakit? Okay, dalawa lang pala to. So, we have the, what are the three types of policing? Sorry, class. Na ano kasi? Na-disarrange ko ba? So, ito yung pangalawa para. Yung classification based on command structure. Babalikan na lang natin mamaya doon. So, second, we have classification based on command structure. Yung kanina is legitimacy yun. So, ito naman based on command structure. Structure rather. So, we have three: centralized, decentralized, and of course, the single or singular. Lumabas to last board exam, last August. So, centralized meaning the organization, primary decision are made by the person or persons at the top of the organization. So meaning that is a centralized command structure class. Again, centralized structure, that is they decide or the deciding individual class doon sa mga policies na kailangan is on the top of the organization. Kung sino yung mga pinaka-head. So that is a centralized command structure. Then we have decentralized organization delegate decision-making authority throughout the organization. So meaning, hindi lang iilan ang magde-decide class on the most important decisions na gagawin in the organization. So marami ngayon or ang authority kasi nga dine-delegate or ina-assign yung authority or the right to command throughout the organization. So ang may hawak or ang may author ng decision is hindi lang yung top officials natin. So lahat may contribution. Then we have the single or singular. So one person coordinates the incident. Then it is the most useful and smaller or single jurisdictional incident. Siyempre kapag konti lang no, yung nasa sakupan class. So ang gagamitin natin na command structure dyan is single or singular. So isa lang yung nag-coordinate sa incident. So that is suitable or the best suitable class for smaller and single jurisdictional incident. So yan. Okay, again, tatlo yan under the command structure, centralized. Ibig sabihin, the decisions or the primary decisions are made by the persons or the person on the top of the organization. Kung sino yung nasa taas. Then decentralized naman, ibig sabihin, organizations or the organization class or decisions are delegated by the authority all throughout the organization. So lahat may contribution. So that is decentralized. Then single or singular naman. So one person coordinates that is suitable naman for smaller and single jurisdictional incident. Nakuha ba? Naintindihan? Okay, imamaster niyo lahat to ha. Centralized, decentralized, and single or singular command structure. Nakuha, children? Okay, sige next. Balikan natin yung dalawa na na-skip natin kanina. Okay, so what are the three types of policing? Mamaya i-explain ko to yung three types of policing natin in detail. Of course, we have legalistic, the watchman, and the service style. So mamaya i-explain natin doon as we go on. So police agencies with legalistic orientation focus on strictly, of course, on law enforcement activities or enforcing the laws in general. So that is legalistic orientation or legalistic policing. So whereas those with the service style o yung mga sa service style naman class, nakafocus naman sila on providing the needed services to resident and business owners. So that is what they call the service style policing. So again, in the law enforcement activities or in the legalistic orientation, nakafocus sila primarily on enforcing the law or on law enforcement activities, while on the service style, focused on providing needed services to residents and business owners. So that is the three styles of policing mamaya. Okay, so pagtapos natin mamaya, magkaroon tayo ng ng drills or uulitin ko, magtatanong ako, tapos sasagot kayo dyan sa comment section pag natapos na natin ang discussions natin. Okay, so that is the the three styles of policing. Mamaya i-explain pa natin further. Then we have the six pillars of policing. So of course, ang six pillars of policing: building trust and legitimacy, policy and oversight, technology and social media, community policing and crime reduction, and of course, training and education. So that is the six pillars to work. Ay, bakit lima lang to? Sana ba yung pang-anim? Bakit magkumulang? Kumulang, no? Wait lang kasi, tingnan natin mamaya. So, wait lang. Ano ba yung na-omit ko dyan? Wait lang class. Sige, correct natin. Six pillars of policy. Building trust, policy and oversight, technology and social media, community policing and crime reduction, training and education, and officer wellness and safety. So, idagdag natin dito. So, i-type ko na lang. Number 6 class is officer wellness and of course safety. Okay, again, that is the six pillars of policing. Screenshot muna para makuha ninyo. So again, the six pillars of policy, we have building trust and legitimacy, policy and oversight, technology and social media, community policing and crime reduction, and training and education. And ang pinakalas niyan is the officer wellness and safety. Okay, so paki-screenshot muna. Screenshot na, sabihan niyo ako kapag okay na. Okay, so that is the six pillars of policy. Bakit ngingiti? Mahina talaga signal, sir. Recording ng po ako 3 a.m. para makasabay. Yes, sir, Renante. Oh, grabe, ang aga nyo naman, sir, magising 3 a.m. Okay, so that is the six pillars of policy. Okay, so next tayo, class. So we have now proceed sa next slide. Okay, so we have the types of forces. Dalawa yan. We have coordinated forces and, coordinated centralized forces and decentralized command structure. Ang coordinated centralized, again, if the police officers in country is highly organized and having a centralized command police force. So that is coordinated, centralized. Then, decentralized command structure naman, if the police forces in the country do not have an apparent centralized command structure, so decentralized ngayon. Okay, kapag tinanong ngayon, class, what type of force class ang ginagamit sa PNP at present? Is it coordinated centralized or decentralized command structure? Ano, class? What do you think? Okay, so what will be your answer? Okay, decentralized pa tayo? Okay, so sa PNP class, of course, ang sinusunod natin is coordinated, centralized. Siyempre, meron tayong mga regional offices or provincial offices. Then, ang mga order class, manggagaling yan sa taas, di ba? Sa national headquarters. So, kaya akong pagpipiliin what type of force ang ginagamit natin that is coordinated, centralized force or forces. Tama ba? So, ang sagot natin dyan, that is coordinated, centralized, kapag what type of force ang sinusunod natin. So, if the police officer in the country is highly organized and having a centralized command police force, so that is coordinated, centralized. Nakuha ba? Nasundan? Okay, coordinated centralized tayo kasi of course yung mga yung mga orders na nanggagaling sa higher echelon or sa higher or sa national headquarters, ipo-forward yan hanggang sa baba. So kaya nga ang tawag na nito is coordinated centralized force. Okay, nasundan ba? Nasundan? Okay na? So pakibasa nga muna, Hana. Hana, can you read again what is type of forces na meron tayo sa meron tayo?
Sir, naririnig?
Yes, naririnig.
Coordinated, centralized. If the police forces in a country is highly organized and having a centralized command police force, the centralized command structure. If the police forces in a country do not have an apparent centralized command structure.
Okay, so that is the types of forces. So coordinated, centralized, and decentralized command structure. Okay, next. Okay, so the number of forces to be commanded, so meron tayong tinatawag na the singular model. So if the entire police force in the country is organized as a single force under a single commander, so that is a singular model. So then sa Saudi Arabia, o kaya comparative class kaya i-compare natin. So Saudi Arabia is a typical model of centralized coordinated police force with a singular line of command emanating from the king. Nanggagaling kasi ang order sa king. So the police known as a public security police is responsible for the general policing throughout the country and derives its authority from the executive orders and the Sharia. Okay, again, that is in Saudi Arabia. So they are the typical model of centralized coordinated police force kasi ang singular line of command manggagaling or will emanate from the king of the Saudi Arabia. So, yan. Then sa China naman is another model of singular coordinated centralized police force kung saan the Ministry of Public Security or the MPS is a functional organization under the state or under the state council in charge of the public security nationwide. So parang chain of command, no? So one man is in command of the PNP or the entire PNP organization or entire organization in general. So yan yung sa Saudi Arabia and sa China. So they are a typical model of centralized coordinated police force. So again, kung sinabi natin singular model, if the entire police force in the country is organized as a single force under a single commander. Siyempre, of course, last, meron tayong sa Pilipinas, the GPNP, di ba? So sa GPNP, then of course, ang mandate na nanggaling sa president, susundin niya rin yun. So that's why it should be a centralized, coordinated with the singular model ang natin sa Pilipinas. Then, meron naman tayong tinatawag na multiple model kasi katulad na sa France, di ba? If a single country, there are number of police forces like in India or multiple coordinated na tinatawag natin. Ay, sige, picturean mo lang. Sige, balikan natin. O yan. Okay na ba? Okay, thank you. Okay, next, ulitin natin. So, next tayo. So, meron tayong tinatawag na multiple model. Again, kapag yung country or single country class, if there are number of police forces or halimbawa sa India, so if the police force have well-defined territories of functioning and their functions do not overlap each other, so pwede natin tinatawag na multiple model as long as hindi nagka-crash no, yung kanilang police forces. So multiple uncoordinated naman if the case is reversed as in India, where many agencies can have overlapping jurisdiction. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila alam ang kanilang territory or kahit hanggang saan lang yung jurisdiction nila or ang focus nila. So France naman is a typical example of police force with multiple coordinated centralized force. Kasi ito yung dalawa class ito yung meron sa France, di ba? So meron silang two national law enforcement agencies. So we have the Police National, then we have the Gendarmerie National. Ang pagbasa nito class is Gendarmerie, hindi Gendarmerie, okay? So or Gendarmerie, then it is Gendarmerie of France. So again, that is Police National, formerly called as Charette. That is a civilian force primarily responsible or in urban areas. Kapag rural naman area in France, ang ano naman doon class, ang tinatawag naman natin doon, ang responsible naman sa rural area sa France class is the Gendarmerie National. So ang France ngayon, ang best or classical example of multiple coordinated centralized force. Meaning, iba yung sa urban, iba yung sa rural. So hindi na ngayon magka-clash ang kanilang jurisdiction. Wala nang overlapping jurisdictions ang nangyayari. So yan ang tinatawag natin na multiple coordinated centralized force. Kasi kapag sa isang bansa, ang police force nila, marami silang police forces or marami silang agencies, pero nagkakaroon ng clashing or nagkakaroon ng overlapping jurisdictions against each other. So, ibig sabihin, there is a multiple uncoordinated force ang bansa na yon. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nasundan niyo ba, class? So, yan ang tinatawag natin ng multiple model. Okay, so yes, sa US class, meron silang multiple model kasi meron silang city, meron silang county, meron silang tinatawag natin class na federal, and so on. So, yun ang kanila. So, example rin sila class ng multiple coordinated centralized force. Okay? So, yan ang tinatawag natin class ng coordinated centralized force. Sa US, best example rin. Pero ang France is classical example talaga kasi si France dati. Kahit sa time namin, Gendarmerie of France and Police National, iba yung sa Charette, di ba? Okay, so ang dating name niya sa amin dati pa is inaaral namin dati Charette. Hindi pa yan napalitan ng Police National. Okay? So, or Gendarmerie, still pala yan. That is for rural area, then for urban areas naman, si Charette or tinatawag natin ngayon na Police National. Okay na ba? Naintindihan? So, di ba ang ganda ng subject na to, ng comparative, no? Napagdaanan niyo ba to nung college kayo? Or yung yung multiple model, singular model, or hindi? Or nagpo-model kayo? Okay, so yan. Okay, so ay ng online. Sige, ang importante, dinaanan ng sir ay hindi na gano. Ay, module, ay wala kilahana daw. Ang importante, nadaanan nyo ngayon. Okay, so yan. Okay, so yan ang Police National and Gendarmerie sa France. So that is multiple model and singular current model. Okay, next. We will proceed now on the next. Okay, this one class. So this is actual board exam question last August. So what statement would explain the theory of anomy in comparative policing? So again, what statement would explain the theory of anomy in comparative policing? Letter A, it suggests that progressive lifestyle and norms result in the disintegration of older norms that once held people together. Letter B, it implies that people at the bottom develop unrealistic expectations. And letter C, it explains that crime everywhere is the result of migration. And letter D, the crime problem is emerging because society is become too complex. We already discussed this kanina, so most likely you will understand or you will answer or you can answer this question. Okay. May ganito rin ba na discussion sa inyo class? Ano ba yung pag-discuss sa inyo? Yung pure lecture lang or walang naka-insert na ganito? Wala ba? Okay. Okay. So hindi yan siya ang standard dapat hindi naman baka may makarinig no. Pero again, ang standard talaga dapat makita agad ng students yung progress nila or when it comes sa application. Okay, anong sagot natin? Ay, may mga example lang na binibigay. O dapat ganito talaga actual class. May actual question or may question na in between para ma-assess niya na agad yung sarili niya. A, so majority, letter A. So ano ba ang sagot natin dyan? Okay, so lahat naman di ba nandyan? So what statement would explain that the theory of anomy and comparative policing? So of course, that would be letter A. So it suggests that progressive lifestyle and norms result in the disintegration of older norms that once held people together. So that is anomy. Actually, pwede rin isagot si B at letter C, pero mas complete, kumbaga, si letter A. Nandiyan na lahat ng rekado. Okay, so yan. Ganito pag minahal si Leia. Okay. So, ganun class. So yan, madali lang ang Leia daw pag basta ma-simplify sa inyo. So again, that is letter A. Ang anomy theory suggests that progressive lifestyle and norms results in the disintegration of older norms that once held people together. Nakuha ba? Nakuha nyo? So that would be letter A. So nakita nyo na agad. So this is actual board exam question class. So meaning, ang dinidiscuss ko dito is hindi yan siya basura ha, or hindi yan siya useless. Kumbaga, actual na nangyayari yan or actual na tinatanong sa board exam. Kaya huwag kayong mainip kapag huwag kayong mainip kapag may mga complicated na mga discussions kasi ano yan, kumbaga hindi kayo mangyayari talaga yan sa board exam class. Kaya kapag nasa TOS, tinitingnan ko talaga kung ano yung kulang. Kasi kapag kulang, baka yun yung tanong, no? Tapos halimbawa, hayaan natin si Anomy, tapos kasi lumabas naman yan siya sa theory, di ba? Sa criminology area. So, kaya nga sabi nila, sabi ng Attorney Gabaw, the TOS is the Bible of every examinee. So, kung baga binigay na sa inyo lahat, so dapat be ready. Okay, dito pa na open yung mga parts. Yung libro. Okay, so that is letter A, ang sagot natin. That would be letter A. So wala nang ano, no? Wala nang ano. So that is letter A. So this is actual board exam question. Okay, next. It is known as the police force of the United Nations. Again, it is known as the police force of the United Nations. So this is ano class simplified ano. Okay, so what is your answer? Okay, so anong sagot niyo? Letter A. Okay, so again, letter A. So again, it is known as the police force of the United Nations, of course. That is the blue helmets. Okay, very good. So that's the blue helmets class. So United Nations class, kailangan natin ma-discuss rin what is United Nations. Okay, so again, that is blue helmets. So yan, na-discuss na actually yan natin on the older videos ko. So ang headquarters ng United Nations or the UN is in New York, USA. So yung blue helmets, that is the peacekeepers that wear their country's uniform. So ang uniform nila class, kung yung police dito nang gagaling sa Pilipinas, tapos maging UN police na siya or member na siya ng blue helmets. So ang susuot niya pa rin na uniform is yung sa Pilipinas rin. Okay, and are identified as the UN peacekeepers only by UN or blue helmet or beret and a badge that is founded by on 1945. So again, that is the United Nations natin. Again, ang United Nations, that is the peacekeeper Yes, I mean the blue helmets rather under the United Nations, the peacekeepers that wear their countries in uniform as identified as UN peacekeepers ka. So ang headquarters niya is New York, USA. So ano ka? So yan ang tinatawag natin na United Nations. So ang purpose ng United Nations that is committed to maintain international peace and security and to develop friendly relations among nations and promoting social progress, better living human rights. So that is, bakit nag-wait ng Zoom natin? Sige, pag-ibalik natin. Basta si JM. Okay ba? Ano muna? Picturean. Okay, so yeah, that is the UN. Okay, then of course, ang purpose ng UN, that is to develop friendly relations among nations and to promote social progress, better living standards, and human rights para promote best yung international peace and security among nations. So yan ang purpose or ang pinaka-aim ng United Nations. Kasi di ba, United Nations, ibig sabihin, all nations are united, merong harmony. Di ba, meron tayong tinatawag minsan sa school natin, nung elementary kayo, high school, United Nations Day, meaning suotin nyo yung mga kasuotan ng iba't ibang country na nagre-represent. So, yun ang tinatawag natin na United Nations to promote international peace and security. Ano na ba? Nakapy? Copy? So, okay na? Okay. So, that is what we call the oras na ba? That is the UN. Okay, next. So, meron tayong tinatawag class na types of policing model. Of course, una dyan, so we have the traditional policing model. So, in the traditional policing model, it refers to a crime management approach in which police officers respond only to reported criminal activities. So, meaning class, they are reactive in nature. So, meaning, magpa-function lang sila or magpa-function lang ang police kapag there is a reported crime na nangyari sa community natin. So that is a traditional policing model. Again, in the traditional policing model, so the police officers will respond only to reported criminal activities or merong reported sa station nila. Pero kapag wala, syempre, they will not respond to it. Kasi that is traditional. Yan yung sinaunat before, tama? So this model applies as a response strategy to crime alerts. This model allows police officers to work closely with detectives. Then evidence gathered from a crime scene is used to prepare a report which the detective uses to carry out investigation. Once the report reaches a detective, police officers return to carrying out their usual patrolling para hindi na siya mangyari ulit. So that is a traditional policing class. Diba? Alam naman natin, ang traditional policing, the police officer will respond or will become active na lang kapag there is a reported criminal activities happen kung saan lugar man yan. So that is a traditional policing model na meron tayo. Okay na ba? So that is the traditional policing model. So they are reactive in nature. Kung walang nangyaring krimen, edi walang response or walang responde. So yun yung tinatawag natin na traditional policing model. So they are reactive in nature. Okay? Pakibasa Pag-ibasa nga Gwen, what is traditional policing model? Ay walang si Gwen, no? Wala siyang microphone. Okay, Aldren Forteza. Aldren? Nandiyan mo si Aldren? Wala. Ay, sige. Pabalik tayo kay Teresa. Yung mga yung class, yung may mga microphone. Okay, dapat huwag kayo mahiya class, mag-recite para malaki ang chances na ma-retain sa utak niyo yung mga binabasa. Okay, Teresa, can you read what is traditional policing model?
Traditional policing model Traditional policy model refers to a crime management approach in which police officers respond only to reported criminals activities. These models applies as a response strategy to crime alerts. This model allows police officers to work closely with detectives. Evidence gathered from a crime scene is used to prepare a report, which a detective used to carry out investigations. Once the report reaches a detective, police officers return to carry out their usual patrols.
Okay, thank you. So that is the traditional policing model. So tandaan nyo lang class, sa traditional policing model, so they are reactive in nature. So meaning they will respond only to reported criminal activities. Kahit nangyari yan, may nangyaring krimen, tapos hindi yan reported sa station nila, so wala silang pakialam dyan. So they will not respond to it. So that is a traditional before yan. Sa ngayon, meron tayong tinatawag na problem-oriented policing model. So ang problem-oriented policing model, so this model lays out a lot of emphasis on the efforts geared towards preventing the crime. So meaning class, kung ang kanina is reactive, ito naman is proactive in nature. So meaning, habang wala pang nangyayaring krimen, so as much as possible, i-eliminate na natin ang opportunity. Okay, again, i-eliminate na natin ang opportunity ngayon class for crime commission. So that is the problem-oriented policing model. Okay, mas ito yung mata ni Chinwell. Sige, bakit baka maraming chicks ang tinignan mo kanina, Chinwell? Sige, balikan mo na lang mamaya. So again, problem-oriented policing model, ibig sabihin, they focus more on the efforts towards preventing crime or crime prevention. So meaning class, ang ano naman nila dito, ang ini-employ naman nila dito is proactive in nature or the tatanggalin nila yung opportunity or hindi talaga mangyari ang krimen sa community natin. That is a problem policing model. So this model allows police officer, bakit naka-on yung microphone iba? Okay, off na microphone yung klasa kasi naka-distract sa iba. So these models allow police officers to work on identifying and analyzing crimes in their area of operation. Of course, the recent study of Fritz and Leiderbach and Taylor in 2008. So their analysis develops strategies that use to give effective responses whenever the identified crimes are reported. So kapag may nangyaring krimen, so next time, alam na nila what would be the best strategy para ma-prevent talaga na mangyari yung krimen na yon. Then according to Herman Goldstein, who developed this policing model, it is very important for this officer to concentrate on eradicating crime instead of focusing on managing it. Okay, so contrary naman sa tinatawag natin na traditional policing model. So in the problem-oriented policing model, ang focus nila or based on or according to Sir Herman Goldstein, so dapat the police officer will concentrate on eradicating crime rather than on focusing or on managing it. Ibig sabihin, dapat as much as possible, i-eliminate na natin na may mangyaring krimen sa community natin. So dapat sa Pilipinas, gano'n rin, no? Kasi mag-action lang sila kapag meron na. Kasi reactive in nature tayo ngayon eh. So parang, actually hindi naman masyadong traditional. Kumbaga, half pa. Hindi pa natin hindi pa natin natumpok or wala pa tayo sa tinatawag natin na totally problem-oriented policing model. So meron pa rin meron pa rin mga loopholes kumbaga. So kasi magko-concentrate lang tayo sa managing or mag-response, di ba? Tapos after that, ano yung ginawa natin? What are the strategies na na-develop out of that crime na nangyari? So ano ba yung strategies na bago para ma-eradicate totally or kapag not totally, ma-lessen lang yung mga crimes na yon na maulit or mangyari ulit sa community natin. So yan ang tinatawag natin na problem-oriented policing model. So again, ang problem-oriented policing model, naka-focus nila or yung emphasis nila ngayon is on the proactive or towards the crime prevention or proactive. So meaning, as much as possible, the opportunity for crime commission is nawawala or nadidiminish ngayon. So yung based sa author ng theory na to or ng model na to, si Herman Goldstein, police officers should concentrate on eradicating crimes rather than focusing on managing it. Or, simple say, um, on responding to it. That is the problem-oriented policy model. Okay, nakuha ba? Nasundan ba? Okay, ganun lang kadali class ang subject na to. Or ganun lang kadali ang Leia. Hindi ko alam bakit nahihirapan sila sa Leia. But yung Leia ang pinakamadali eh. Di ba? So, tapos sabihin mo, sir, pagpunta naman tayo ng law, yung law naman ang pinakamadali. Ano ba talaga? Okay, sige. That is the problem-oriented policy model class. Okay, pero kapag nakuha nyo class yung pinaka-bit or pinaka-simplified na explanation or yung sa Leia, 'di ba? Kasi nakikita ko palagi sa mga comment section, sa mga tawag nito kapag pinopromote nila yung page ko sa YouTube, sa mga ano class. Sabi nila kapag sa Leia daw manood ka kay Crimcoach kasi ang dali-dali daw nilang na ano, lalo na kapag may mga backboard sila, may mga ano, doon sila nanonood ng Leia class. Nakukuha nila agad yung concept. Di ko alam bakit gano'n. Kasi ano naman, di ba yung last season, grabe yung Leia class, pamatay yung mga katanungan doon. Pero mabuti na prepare ko sila sa kung ano talaga yung actual na mga tanungan sa board exam, lalo na sa Leia. So kaya hindi sila masyadong nahirapan lalo na sa crime map. Yung ibang RC coach hindi naka-base sa TUS, yung na-remember lang nila yung dinidiscuss. Ay, delikado yan kapag ganon. Mas mahihirapan ako sa forensic sir lalo sa personal identification. Leia mo pa nakita. Okay, sige. Oo, tama, totoo yan kasi maraming RC o maraming school rent class na hindi rin naniniwala sa TOS. Pero paniwalang-paniwala ako sa, di ba, advocate niya ako ng TOS, no? Tapos, may iba pa minsan, nagtatanong, sir, nakasunod ba sa TOS yung ano mo, yung klase mo? Sabi ko, bakit? Kasi, ano eh, dapat nakasunod sa TOS. Sabi ko, wow, hiyang-hiya naman ako sa iyo, di ba? Sabi ko ako, sa akin nga sila kumukuha ng copy ng TOS tapos hindi ko pa susundin ng TOS. O, di ba? Yung iba class kapag ganun ay medyo ano yan, medyo delikado. Baka spy yun pinadala ng ano class kaya dapat agad-agad ano mo stop mo. Okay, so baka spy lang yan. Okay, so yan, that is problem-oriented policing model. Okay, next, we have the community-oriented policing model. So, may iba nga eh. May iba talaga na ang ano no, yung mga inggitero at inggitera, yung mentality class. Kasi natatawa ko kasi tinatanong doon nila o kino-confirm doon nila sa Baguio City kung nanggaling ba daw talaga ako sa Crimcoach Philippines. Kasi baka ginagamit nila yung pangalan ng Crimcoach Philippines. Tinatanong nila si Dr. Peckley at si Mamida kung nanggaling ba talaga ako sa Crimcoach Philippines. Yung iba, pine-verify nila siguro yung mga ano class. Mga nasa same ano ko. Na ano, kung nanggaling ba talaga. Paano daw ako nakapunta from Mindanao to Baguio tapos ginagamit ko daw ang pangalan ng trip coach na ganito. So hindi nila alam, di ba? Tanong sila doon, verify nila kay Dr. Peckley kung nanggaling ba talaga ako doon sa trip coach. Sabi nila, oo, anak ko yan, di ba? So yun, nag-stop na class. Natawa ako doon. Uh, nakadirect, nakadirect message ka daw, Eric. Bakit pa kasi grabe yung inimbestigahan nila, no? Tapos sinabihan lang na anak ko yun, di ba? So, natatawa ako doon nung nakwento nila class kasi hindi ayaw nila maniwala na nanggaling ako sa grade coach sa Baguio. Paano na ako nakapunta doon? Sa taga Mindanao ako, di ba? So, yun ang class. Sa Pilipinas tayo nakatira eh, kaya nangyari yun. Okay. Habang tumatagal, sir, magkamukha na kayo ni Dr. Pecky. Delikado. Nagkamukha na ba ni Dr. Pecky? Pag-inggit-dikit. So, ayan, class. Nag-direct sa akin si Tere, sir, na how daw mag-enroll sa free post. Balak na rin daw. May trust issue. May trust issue, class. Pero kapag gano'n, natatawa na lang ako, di ba, kapag gano'n, class. Tinatawanan na lang namin kasi hahanap talaga ng ng butas. Akala siguro nila ginamit ko lang yung pangalan ng phone. Okay, so by the way, dito na tayo. So maganda yung natin, no? Maganda yung online class natin kasi may patalastas. Parang nag-uusap lang tayo na harapan. Okay, so yeah. Ayan. May LQ na nangyayari between Teresa at Eric, oh. Okay. Nagmayat na talaga. Okay, so yan. Dito tayo, class. Community-oriented policing model. I hope naintindihan niyo ang traditional and problem-oriented policing model. So dito naman tayo, class, sa community-oriented policing model. Yung style of policing naman na to, naka-emphasize or naka-focus siya ngayon on the need for the police officer to engage in the community members, in preventing and eliminating crime. So meaning, kinakailangan natin para maging successful ang mga programs and activities ng police. So kailangan niya ngayon, class, ng coordination or kailangan niya ngayon ng tulong na manggagaling sa community or community participation. May pang-inom po, imong tubig sa unang na lecture, Sir Basil. Sa imong copyright. Delikado yan, ha. Sabi ni Gwen, dapat inunom niya daw yung tubig ko dati. Pero marami nang nangyayari yan, ha. So yung pinost ko na Facebook na di ba nung nagpasalamat siya, ano niya sa Facebook, tawag nito, i-post niya, ininom niya yung tubig ko pala na naiwan na nasa mineral. So sabi ko kasi pumasa naman siya. Delikado yan. Okay, so yun, class. Ininom yan, di ba? Pinost ko yun last August nung Di ko alam yung mga estudyante talaga maraming naiisip kung ano na lang yung naiisip nila. Okay, sige. Malay natin. So wag tayo maging KJ sa kanilang class. Baka maging effective na lang. Okay. So, ayan. Ininom yun. Ako na buwa sa kreto. Ininom mo ba yung ikaw talaga? Ininom niyo pala yung tubig, kaya pala lalagyan natin ng ano yon. So again, ang community-oriented policing model, so police officers often interact with people everywhere where they work. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag na community-oriented policing. Huwag niyo inamin, class, baka magkaroon kayo ng rabies, di ba? Baka instead na makasagot kayo, maglaway na kayo doon pagdating sa actual board exam. Okay, so yan. Again, ulitin natin. Ang community-oriented policing system or policing model, so police officers interact with people everywhere they work. So the interactions develop out of the fact that community members rely on police officers to provide security, ensure order, and provide responsive or response services during emergencies. So that is community-oriented policing model natin. Then, on the other hand, police officers also rely on community members to report criminal activities. Kaya that's why very important rin ang community-oriented policing model. So meaning that is two-way, di ba? Two-way mirror. Or sabihin natin, vice versa. So the police officer rely on the community or by providing their services, then dapat rin, suklian na rin yan ng members of the community to report any criminal activities na nangyayari sa community. So again, ang community-oriented policing model, nakafocus yan or it emphasizes on the need of the police officer to engage in the community and of course, the help of community members in preventing and eliminating crime in the community. So that is community-oriented policing of model. Okay, nakuha ba? Naintindihan? Nakuha na, class? Naintindihan? Okay, sige. That is community-oriented policing model. Sige, basahin mo ulit. Si JM, can you read again? Okay, so what is community-oriented? Wala si JM. Si ano na lang. Si Hersey Joy Sanico. Sanico? Sanico, nandyan ka? Yung iba kasi class siguro naka-duty pa. Si ano na lang, si Mark Clifford Esperanza.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, can you read again what is community-oriented?
Community-oriented policing model. This style of policies emphasizes on the need for police officers to engage community members in preventing and eliminating crime. Police officers often interact with people everywhere they work. The interactions develop out of the fact that community members rely on police officers to provide security, ensure order, and provide response service during emergencies. On the other hand, police officers also rely on community members to report criminal activities. Stevens on 2008. Thanks, sir.
Okay, so that is community-oriented policing system. So meaning emphasizes on the importance, collaboration between the members of the community and of course the police officers. So yeah, yung tinatawag natin na community-oriented policing model. The next, so we have another one, the last one, the intelligence-led policing model. So again, ang intelligence-led policing model, so it is a style of policing where police officers rely on assessing and managing risk by identifying crime patterns. So police officers who use this model, of course, are called intelligence officers. So this policing model is slightly different from others because the course of the operation is dependent on the police officer and not on the crime. Nakapokus naman dito sa police officer and not on the crime. With all other policing models, the nature of the crime committed often provides the guide to police officer who conduct investigation. So ang intelligence-led policing does not focus a lot on the crime, but instead focuses more on surveillance and having informants who feed the police officers with information that shows the development of crime patterns under assessment. So kaya nga tinawag na intelligence-led policing. So meaning ang information or ang success ng police officer or ng agency natin relies on the surveillance, di ba? And on the informants, kung ano yung information na ibibigay nila. Kasi ipipid nila ang police officer on that information. Siyempre, tanan natin class, the CIA or the Central Intelligence Agency, that is the United States commonly uses this model of policing. That is the government-owned or the government intelligence service of the United States of America. Kung sa kung sa US class, meron tayong CIA. Sa America, sa Pilipinas naman, what is the government-owned or the government intelligence service in the Philippines? Okay, so ano naman ang meron tayo? Okay, very good. Siyan. So student talaga kita. So again, that is NICA. Okay, so ang NICA class, that is the government or that is the primary government intelligence service natin. So NICA, that stands for National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. So alam niyo ba class, o bakit may isang sagot dito? NICA yan, letter A yan. So alam niyo ba yung nag-apply rin ako sa NICA 1 year ago. Tapos dyan pa sa dyan pa sa sa Jensen, sa may anong tawag na natin doon? Yung malapit na sa may ano ngayon? Yung mga malapit sa siya ngayon sa PDEA, sa harap ng PDEA. Anong tawag natin doon? 'Di ba yung sa is RTC 'yon? Anong tawag natin doon? Diyan kami nag-apply. Diyan kami nag-process sa may ngayon yung mga police officer yun dyan, yung natin class sa Jensen. Nakalimutan ko na. Okay, sa barracks. Okay, sa barracks. Ang Krami kasi it's na sa Luzon. Sa Jensen kasi class, sa barracks class, doon kami nag-apply sa NICA kasi dyan ang office nila sa Mindanao. So ang first na interview sa akin, na-remember ko pa that time, tinanong ng head, yung nag-interview sa amin, kung may girlfriend ba daw ako na foreigner. Yun ang first niya na class. Yun yung first niya na tanong. Okay, so kasi class, bawal yan kapag may girlfriend ka na foreigner or may boyfriend ka na foreigner tapos papasok ka sa NICA, sa intelligence service. Kasi baka yung mga information doon, yung mga confidential information, baka accidentally ma-share mo ngayon sa sa partner mo na foreigner. Nakuha nyo? Okay, so yun ang first nila. baka si Alice ko, delikado yan. Yun yung first nila na class tawag nito na question. Kaya nabigla ako, no? Yun talaga yung tanong agad. So kaya dapat yun ang first na tinatanong nila. Kasi nga sa intelligence. Kaya ang success ng isang bansa, nakasalalay yan sa intelligence. Kung gaano kagaling yung intelligence, di ba? Yung nangyari sa Amerika, di ba? Na-intercept yon ng intelligence ng Pilipinas. Nalalaman niya na bombahin yung di ba, yung building na yon, yung Twin Tower, if I'm not mistaken. Di ba na-intercept yun ng Pilipinas. Tapos, hindi sila maniwala kasi Philippine intelligence eh. Parang, kumbaga, binabaliit nila. Pero nangyari talaga. So, kaya yun. Kaya mas maganda class, mas magaling yung 5 years before or 911 or yes. Ramsey Joseph, 5 years before 911. Yun, ang nangyari doon class. Kaya, yung 911 natin, no? Diba? 5 years before. So, yung, okay. So, 9/11. So, basta yun, class, ang ano natin. Hindi na yun nalabas sa board exam. Pero yun ang focus natin. Kaya, that's why very important na mas malaki or mas malaki ang budget na ibibigay class sa tinatawag natin ng intelligence service natin. So, sa Central Intelligence Agency of the United States, CIA sa Pilipinas, National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. So, ngayon, ano naman yung intelligence service natin class when it comes sa ating yung military intelligence service ng Pilipinas. Ano naman yon? Ano naman ang military intelligence service ng Pilipinas? Okay, so ano naman yung military intelligence service ng Pilipinas class? What is the military intelligence? Okay, of course, the ISAF, the Intelligence Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So that is the military, of course, the Military Intelligence Service of the Philippines, the ISAF. Okay, so yeah. So the CIA is an independent agency of the United States government responsible for collecting and coordinating intelligence, counterintelligence activities. Then the Director of Central Intelligence, of course, who is a who is a supervisor by the President and National Security Council as the head of the agency. So ayan, sa Pilipinas, meron tayong NICA. Sa kanila naman, meron naman silang CIA, the Intelligence Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Okay, so yan. So again, ang intelligence-led policing model, nakafocus yan on what they call police officer class. Okay? Ibig sabihin sa effort ng police officer or intelligence officer on gathering information or on gathering because of the surveillance and of course having informants. Kung ano yung ngayon ang nakalat niya na information, so yun yung i-feed niya sa police officer with that information. Then ma-assess ngayon ng police officer yung crime patterns and of course ma-assess niya what will be the possible or the best strategies in class to combat crimes in community. So that is intelligence-led policy. Okay, nakuha ba? So na-picture ba? Okay, so pakibasa ulit. Si ano naman, sino yung hindi nagbasa kanina? Sino ba? Randomly, si Juliet Ponpon. Can you read Juliet? Intelligence, because narinig ko po si Juliet eh.
Good evening, Coach.
Evening, okay. Pakibasa.
Yung lahat po, Coach, no?
Yes.
So, Intelligence Lead Policing Model. Intelligence Lead Policing Model is a style of policing where police officers rely on assessing and managing risk by identifying crime patterns. Police officers who use this model in law enforcement are called intelligence officers. So this policing model is slightly different from the others because the course of the operation is different on police officers and not the crime. With all the other policing models, the natures of crime committed often provides the guide for police officers who conduct investigations. So intelligence lead policing does not focus a lot on the crime, but instead focuses more on surveillance and having informant who feed the police officers with information that shows the development of crime patterns under assessment. So the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, and the United States commonly uses this model of policy. So the CIA is an independent agency of the United States government responsible for collecting and coordinating intelligence and counterintelligence counterintelligence activities. The Director of General Intelligence, who is supervised by the President and National Security Council, head by the agency.
Okay, thank you. So that is the intelligence or the intelligence-led policing model. Again, nakafocus yan class for the success or this model focuses or dependent on the police officers and not on the crime. So that is what we call class ang focus ng intelligence. So meaning, ang success ng model na to or ang success ng policing nakadepende yan sa galing, di ba, ng intelligence officer. So on utilizing yung mga information coming from the surveillance and of course coming from the informants. Kasi nga ang informants ngayon ang nagtitid ng tinatawag natin na information sa ating police officer. So yan ang focus. Nakadepende yan sa police officer class and not on the crime. So that is intelligence-led policing of model. Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan class? Okay na? Okay na? Okay, so ayan, that is the intelligence-led policing model. Okay, next. How about this one? So the crime that is recognized in international law and against the world community. Again, what is this? So it is the crime that is recognized in international law and it is against the world community. So what is that? Okay, so what is your answer? I need your class, I need your response. Lahat kayo. Okay, so nandun naman yung full pledge and yung letter P, mali yun class that should be letter F. Okay, ang pledge kasi ano yan completely established or of full status, di ba? Kasi nakikita ko sa mga post nila yung mga nagte-take oath, ang pledge nila letter P, that is wrong. Okay, so yan. Okay, letter A yung sagot nila. So again, that is the crime that is recognized in international law and it is against the world community. So that is what they call the international crime. Okay? That is what they call class, that is international crime. Kasi again, pag-aaralan din natin mamaya si ICC or the International Criminal Court. Okay? So again, that is international crime. Kasi pag sinabi nating transnational crimes, are violations of law that involve for more than one country in their planning, execution, or impact. So, ang transnational class, ibig sabihin, there is a cross-jurisdiction na nangyari dyan. Okay, from border to border, country to country, so that is transnational crime. Or there is an exchange of jurisdiction. Di ba? Halimbawa, magbigay nga kayo class ng example ng transnational crime. Kumbaga nangyari in one country, dinala sa isang country, or ang planning, ang execution, ang impact, nangyari sa isang country, dinala sa ibang country. So, ibig sabihin, there is a cross-jurisdiction. There's a transfer, or there's a cross-jurisdiction from one country to another country. So, what is that? Okay, so ayan, genocide is papasok plus, ang genocide hindi papasok sa transnational crime. Ang genocide papasok siya sa international crime, so sa ICC. Magkaiba kasi sa international crime class sa transnational crime. Ang ICC or ang international crimes that is against the international law, meaning ang na-violate mo ng crimes is international laws rather. So ang ano niyan class is the ICC ang in charge, yung mga genocide. So ang transnational crime naman class, nagkakaroon ng more than there is a cross jurisdiction or there's a cross transfer. So tama yung money laundering, cartels, trafficking, lahat ng trafficking class, drug trafficking, organ trafficking, and so on, child trafficking, smuggling, terrorism. Anong trafficking? Anong trafficking, Eric? Then, yes, ang treason class is international crime rin. Prosty and typo. Okay. So yan, nakala ko, trafficking. So, ayan. Then, sige, na-typo lang daw si Eric. Baka na siya, na-overwhelm. So these offenses are distinguished from other crimes in multinational nature, which possess unique problems in understanding their causes, developing prevention strategies, and in mounting effective adjudication procedures. So that is the transnational crime. Okay, again. So that is a transnational crime. So ayan, that is what we call, there is a cross jurisdiction, there is a cross transfer. Okay, that tinama na ni Chipwell. Okay, so trafficking na daw. Okay, so yan, trafficking. Okay, again, ulitin natin class. Kung sinabi ng transnational crimes, those are violations of law that involve more than one country, their planning, execution, or impact. Okay, ang example niyan, class, transnational crimes can be grouped into three broad categories involving provisions of illicit goods. Number one, so we have illicit goods. Okay, illicit goods. We have drug trafficking, syempre. Trafficking in stolen property, weapons trafficking, and counterfeiting. Then sa illicit services naman, commercial sex, and human trafficking. Then infiltration in business and government. So we have fraud, we have racketeering, money laundering, and corruption. Then affecting multiple countries. So that is what we call transnational crime. So again, ang transnational crime pala, okay, so ang transnational crimes, may nagliligawan sa baba class, hayaan niyo na. Mga student ko yan before baka hindi natuloy yung kanilang hindi natuloy yung kanilang love story before, baka dito sa board exam matutuloy. Okay, again, ulitin natin, transnational crimes can be grouped. Again, ang transnational crime, hindi na dapat alam ninyo na ano yan yung mga crimes na nangyayari. So ang transnational crimes, nakagrupo pa siya into three. So we have illicit goods, okay? So we have illicit services, and infiltration of business and government. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin class na transnational crime. Nakuha ba? Okay? Then transnational crimes are distinct from international crime. Sinabi ko kanina, transnational crimes are distinct from international crimes. Hindi yan sila pagkaparehas class, which involve crimes against humanity. Again, ang international crime naman class, those are crimes against humanity that may or may not involve multiple countries. So examples of international crimes are genocide, when you kill a large group or a particular group of person, or halimbawa belonging to cultural minorities or sa tribe or tribo yan class, so that is genocide. Then pangalawa, papasok ngayon sa international crime or sa ICC, ang tinatawag natin kung when you committed terrorism, which is also included in this guide to sources. So yan ang tinatawag natin class na yan ang ginagtawag natin class na transnational crime. Again, ulitin natin, pag sinabi natin transnational crime, ibig sabihin there is a cross jurisdiction, there is a transfer from one country to another country, so that is transnational crime. Unlike international crime, that is against the world community or that is against the international law, wherein ang minsan yung mga crimes na yan may or may not involve multiple countries. So yung mga crimes against humanity, genocide, terrorism, and so on. So yun ang tinatawag natin na international crimes. Nasundan ba? Nasundan ba class? Okay. Nasundan ninyo? Okay, so nakunin. Okay, can you read again? Si ano na lang? Sino pwede magbasa dito? Yung hindi ko pa narinig ng mga boses dito.
Ako na lang, sir.
Sige, sino yun? Sino ba yun? Sige, can you read? Hindi ko kasi nakuha.
Transnational crimes can be grouped into three broad categories involving provision of illicit goods, drug trafficking, trafficking in stolen property, weapons trafficking, and counterfeiting. Illicit services, commercial sex, and human trafficking, and infiltration of business and government, fraud, racketeering, money laundering, and corruption, affecting multiple countries. Transnational crimes are distinct from international crime, which involves crime against humanity that may or may not involve multiple countries. Example of international crimes are genocide and terrorism, which are also included in this guide to sources.
Okay, thank you. So that is transnational crimes class and of course, international crime. So alam niyo na ngayon ang kaibahan ng ng transnational crimes and international crimes. So dapat alam niyo yung distinction na yan. Okay, so yan, ang transnational and international crime. So meron tayong tinatawag na Philippine Center on Transnational Crime Class or PCTC. Siyempre, the PCTC class or the Philippine Center on Transnational Crime was created by Executive Order number 62 and Executive Order number 100. Tinanong dito ni Eric kung same person ba si Hana at si Gapusan. Hindi ko alam eh. Bakit problemahin ko ba yan kung same person sila? Okay, so that is Philippine Center for Transnational Crime Class was created by Executive Order number 62 and Executive Order number 100 has the power of supervision and control of anti-transnational crime operations of all government agencies and instrumentalities in the Philippines. Again, the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime is created by Executive Order number 62 and Executive Order number 100. Sorry, that is meron silang kapangyarihan to supervise and control yung mga anti-transnational crime operations of all government agencies and instrumentalities in the Philippines. Then, of course, ang PCTC na yan is created under the Office of the President to formulate and implement a connected or concerted program of actionable law enforcement, intelligence, and other government agencies for the prevention and control of the transnational crime. Okay, again, that is what they call class the Philippine Center on Transnational Crime. So meaning they are in charge sa mga anti-transnational crime operations in the Philippines or that is happening in the Philippines. So that is the work or the function of the PCTC or the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. Naintindihan ba? Naintindihan? Okay, sige, pakibasa ulit si sino naman? Nakabasa na ba si Hana? Wala pa? Hana Grace?
Sure.
Okay, sige Hana, can you read? Again, what is PCTC?
The Philippine Center of Transnational Crime or the PCTC. The Philippine Center on Transnational Crime or the PCTC, which was created by Executive Order number 62 and Executive Order number 100, has the power of supervision and control of nakakainis.
O baka may
Anti-trans... Sorry po.
Okay lang, okay lang. Ano nangyari?
Anti-transnational crime. Si mama kasi sir.
Ay, si mama mo? Okay. Bakit? Nawala si Hana. Okay, sige. Kinilig
Sir,
siguro.
wait lang. Anti-transnational crime operations of all government agencies and instrumentality created under the Office of the President to formulate and implement a concerted program of action of all enforcement, intelligence, and other government agencies for the prevention and control of transnational crime. Sorry, sir.
Okay lang. Akala ko binatukan na si Hana ng ng tabo ni mama niya. Okay, so ayan, kinabahan tayo, no? So, ayan, that is the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. O baka jowa mo din yung katabi mo sabi ni Jayman. Hindi nakatawa siya. Okay, so again, that is the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. Ibig sabihin, they're under the Office of the President. And they are tasked to formulate or to combat yung mga transnational crimes happening in the country. Okay, so yan, ang tinatawag na rin na Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. Pwede mag-Ilocano, sir? Yeah, ano yun? Danom? Danom lang yung alam ko sa Ilocano eh. Tubig, tama? Okay, danom. Okinam. Okinam is pogi. Joke lang. Okay, so Okinam? Okay na class? Sa Ilonggo kasi okay na, kaya sa is Okinam. Okinam is ano yan? Okay, next. Okay, so of course, ay mura ba yung Okinam? Akala namin pogi yun. Okay, so sige, hayaan niyo na lang. So we have the comparative. Okay, so comparative, of course, we will focus on the degree or grade by which a person, thing, or other entity has a property or which is greater or less in extent that of another. So kaya nagko-compare tayo, di ba? So ayan, yung tinatawag natin na we will determine whether it is great or less or mas maganda pa sa kabila or mas okay dito sa kabila or mas pangit. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na comparative. We need to see the difference or the degree of grade of a person, thing, or entity. Okay, so puro bakit nakatawa si Aldred diyan? Sa amin kasi ang okay ng class, ano yan, okay na. So parang ano na siya. Yun pala sa ibang ano is ano na yun, pang tawag nito, nagmumura ka na, no? Pero sa ano kasi is okay na. Okay na. Kaya ginawang okay na. Okay, so yeah, that is comparative natin. Okay, sige. Okay, naggalas. Natatawa na lang daw si Philip. Okay, so again, that is comparative class. Ibig sabihin, we will determine the degree or the degree rather or grade of a person, thing, or other entity, whether it's greater or less. Then, of course, we have the police. Pag sinabi natin police, that is a service, is a public force, empowered to enforce the law and to ensure public and social order through the legitimized use of power. So yan yung tinatawag natin class na police class. Okay, di ba? That is, the service is a public force which is empowered to enforce. Then, meron tayong tinatawag class na, sorry, the police is the public and the public is the police. Sino nagsabi nito? Pag sinabi natin police is the public and the public is the police, sino nagsabi niyan? Okay, police is the public and the public is the police. Mababra kasi kami, sir, pero magaling kasi sigurado ay. Oh, taga-Abra ka pala, ano? I will be there in Abra soon. Okay, so yan, Robert Field. Okay, Sir Robert Field. Ikaw, sir. Ako ba nagsabi nito? Okay. Oh, ititigil ko na to mamaya. Okay, so that is of course, class, the police is the public and the public is the police. Sinabi yan, of course, ni Sir Robert Field. Okay, so yan, the Sir Robert Field. Again, so how about this one? So what are the top 3 law enforcement agencies in the Philippines? Yan yung tatlo class. What are the top 3 law enforcement agencies in the Philippines? So what is that? Okay, okay na. In Ilocano is I love you daw. Okay, so nag-google na sila. Okay, PNP, NBI, and PDEA. Okay, very good. So again, the top 3 law enforcement agencies in the Philippines, class, of course, we have, okay, in the Philippines, the police or the law enforcement is superheaded by what agencies? Of course, we have the Philippine National Police, the NBI or the National Bureau of Investigation, and of course, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agencies. Okay, so yung ano na yan, class, is that is the top 3 law enforcement agencies in the Philippines. So sila yung kumbaga yung primary law enforcement agencies sa country natin. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, so pag sinabi nating system, okay, so pag sinabi nating system, class, that is a combination of related elements that is functioning as a whole in order to achieve a single goal or objective. Kaya meron tayong system, di ba? Sa isang organization, sa isang company, may sinusunod na system, nakasanayan, kaya naging successful ang company na yan or ang organization na yan kasi nga there is a system. Ibig sabihin, there is combination of related elements that will function as a whole. That they have one goal, so it is a system. Then we have comparative police system, di ba? So that is the process of outlining the similarities and differences of one police system to another. That is in order to discover insights in the field of international policing. So malalaman natin kaya mako-compare natin ngayon ang similarities and differences of one police system to another police system. Ba sa US, tingnan niyo yung katawan ng mga police officers doon. Sa India, so ganyan ang nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas. During training, may abs pa or maganda yung katawan, fit na fit. After 10 years, after 20 years, hindi na siya unfit na or unexplainable or hindi na siya masyadong or hindi mo na siya maintindihan. So that is comparative police system. That is the process of outlining the similarities and differences of one police system to another. That is in order to discover insights in the field of international policy. Okay, so that is comparative. Okay, bakit na kailangan natin mag-compare class? Siyempre, una, crime has become a global phenomenon. Hindi lang nangyayari sa Pilipinas or hindi lang nangyayari sa ating bansa. So, it happens globally. Then, transnational crimes crosses borders and the need for bilateral and international cooperation become imperative. So, there is kailangan talaga ng cooperation class between other countries. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng Interpol, di ba may mga Interpol, may mga UN, Asianapol, Europol, that is to combat yung mga transnational crimes and international crimes. So, yeah. Okay. So, ano na pala? So, tapusin muna natin siguro to class for this last question. Then, bukas ng umaga, tatapusin natin ang part 2. Okay, kasi baka masyado na loaded ang utak ninyo. Kasi kailangan yung balikan yung first part. Kaya doon ko nilagay halos lahat ng mga pinaka-importanting topics para mas ma-master yun. Kasi yung mga last part or yung part 2 natin, kasi mga ano na lang, medyo light na lang siya. Parang nadaanan nyo na to. Yung mga nauna, yun ang dapat na i-master ninyo. So again, ulitin natin. So a comparative method wherein a researcher communicates with foreign researcher. So what is the comparative method we are applying or we are taking? Diba, marami na pala kayong ano dito, marami na pala kayong message sa GC Sorry. Okay, okay na. Baka take down yun ng ano pero wala naman, hindi naman sabi ko ano. Okay, so what is your answer, class? Before tayo i-end yung ano natin for tonight, then i-continue natin pa mas na umaga. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 6 a.m. tayo bukas, 6 a.m. Tapos hanggang 10 siguro or diretso-diretso yan para matapos natin ang comparative. Para on the next day, mag-focus na tayo sa ibang subject. Okay, again, so lahat naman nakakuha ng tamang sagot. So ang sagot natin dyan, that would be collaborative method. Okay, again, for the ano muna. So how to compare, so dalawa yan. So we have safari, so meaning the researcher will visit another country to determine the similarities and differences of the police force na meron sila doon at police force na meron tayo sa Pilipinas. Then ang collaborative method naman, the researcher will communicate with the same foreign researcher. Hindi na kailangan pupunta sa ibang bansa para ma-determine ang similarities and differences ng police force nila doon sa police force na meron tayo dito. Okay? So that is safari and of course collaborative method. Okay, naintindihan? Okay, so ba daw yung okay na? Okay, okay na ba? Okay, so okay na ba na lang para mas mas natin. Okay, so we will class. So magkakaroon muna tayo ng stop share ko. Mga 20 minutes siguro magkakaroon tayo. Pabilisan tayo ng sagot na lang siguro. Ay sige, bukas na lang siguro. Kasi pagtapos natin sa last part para mas natin. Mahaba pa sir comparative. Yes, parang kalahati pa class. Ang ay parang konti na lang. Kasi mostly yung sa first part ko nilagay yung mga importante, yung pinaka-basic, hindi naman pinaka-basic, yung lumalabas talaga sa board exam under the TOS. So bukas natin i-continue ang comparative. Then kapag masyadong maaga pa, i-continue natin sa Layer 1 bukas. 6 a.m. tayo bukas na. So 6 a.m. or 6:30 tayo mag-start. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10, or ano yan. Kasi diretso tayo. Okay, so balikan nyo ulit mamaya ang ating discussions. So sa comparative, isulat ninyo, intindihin ninyo kasi maganda ang subject na to kapag na-master nyo. Para pagpunta natin sa ibang area, hindi nyo na babalikan pa. Na-master nyo na ang LEA. Okay, so thank you